Hello, hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Misery! Must be screamed. There's an exclamation point at the end. They have a new EP called AxeFx, released on September 17th via Revival Recordings, and right now I'm being joined by Gabe and Mikey, the important members of the band, to share some more information about what's going on. So, Gabe, Mikey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Excited to talk to you.
Absolutely. Sounds great. My son Gabriel, actually, his name is Gabriel, because I just said Gabriel. So
nice.
Yeah.
When we're mad at him, we'll call him Gabriel.
Gabriel Misery. Everything is fine, Gabriel Misery. I don't know why I said that in like a passive-aggressive tone. Everything is fine.
I mean, that's pretty much how the song is kind of presented too. There's like four ways of looking at that song. So like, you know, it's kind of sarcastic. It's kind of like, yeah, everything's fine. And you know, it's really not. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of ways to look at that song. It's pretty much what you get from it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I guess, what are the three other ways of looking at it? And then my tangential question after that is, were you thinking about that when you guys wrote it?
Kinda, yeah. More or less, when we wrote it, it was our first time all together at the studio. We were trying to figure out what song demoed out that we had that we wanted to turn into anything. We sat outside with Ricky Armelino, and I was talking to Gabe. I was like, hey, you haven't played music for like 10 years. You got a lot of shit to talk about. Like, yeah. Let's talk about that stuff. Yeah. And so Ricky, one of Ricky's famous things he does, at least for us, and we always heard him say it, was like, someone would be like, oh, how you doing? He's like, everything's fine. Everything's just fine. Yeah. And then Gabe was kind of saying the same thing about everything that he's been going through and stuff. So it kind of just happened, like, to use that phrase. So we decided to write a song about it, and especially during the COVID stuff. And on top of that, the rebranding of this band becoming Misery, and from what we used to be, and the new members, and letting us know, hey, fans that are going to follow over, everything's fine here. We're good. We're much happier, and just trust us. It's going to be better. Like stuff like that. So it's kind of like multiple meanings within that one song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything's fine, but it's misery. You guys are happier, but it's misery. I mean, it's.
We're from Jersey, man. It's miserable here.
I just had this conversation with him. He's like, yo, how is everything going in Jersey? I'm like, it's still shitty.
Everybody knows the best gravy's in Jersey, though, right?
I guess.
Okay. Well, I guess you could say Jersey then is the sunny place for shady people?
Yes. Yes, 100%. Oh, 100%. There's many shady people.
Yeah, something sorry?
Oh, no, yeah, like Mike was saying, there's a lot of things get brought to light around when you start listening to other people. As far as the sunny place for shady people, it's like there's also two ways of looking at that too, where it's like all the people that are fake with you or that are trying to kind of stab you in the back or that are always out to get you, it kind of brings them to light, right? But then there's the other way of looking at it too in the song, where it's all of us emo kids and we have like this beautiful paradise of a song or a thing that we have all together.
Very true. Speaking of being stabbed in the back, Mikey, the Chucky's behind you.
Oh yeah, it's one of my little guys back there. I have so many horror things, models, masks, all kinds of stuff.
Wow. I don't know if I could sleep with Chucky in the room.
Oh, my girlfriend hates it. Right on the other side of him is where she sleeps, her side of the bed. So she's like right there, and she hates that he's right there. But she'll be okay. I'm waiting one day because he speaks and everything, and I'm waiting for him to like talk one day on his own. But we'll see.
Can you say something for the interview? Like, do you mind?
Let me grab him.
I may be regretting this moment.
I don't know which lines he's going to say, but we'll see. Haha.
Ready?
all I got.
It's creepy.
Just a laugh.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?
Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play?
That's
Put 'em right there.
That's super creeps. Super creeps. Okay, and then the EP itself, XOX, is there a theme to this EP? Because it sounds like you guys have taken quite a bit of thought, not just in reshaping the band itself, reshaping the brand, approaching that with already existing fans, letting them know everything's going to be fine. What went into then crafting this EP?
We go ahead, Mikey.
No, you're good. Go.
It's just weird how some of the songs came about. We took a very different approach, and we changed. Pretty much every song is like a different character going through a different mental struggle. So, every song is in this EP it's different in essence. It's a different vibe. There's literally a sound for everybody in our EP, but it's still us. You know, kind of molding ourselves to what's around us, and you know what's cool and jive now. You know what I mean? But as far as how the EP is presented, the concept is mainly for mental awareness, and pretty much like everything's fine. You know, just we understand. So there's like a dark side or beautiful side to evil in a way, where a lot of these emo bands and they sing about being depressed, or this is what's happening, or I want to die, you know, that pretty much stuff like that. But what we do is we present it in that way, but we have a solution behind it as well, where it's like, you know, everything's gonna be okay, you know, you are here with us. So like in turn, the XOX, because me and Mikey briefly talked about this too a couple times. What it means to us is the X is like us as a band. Each X is us as a band, and the circle is everyone else that we can either protect you from or keep you away from. So in other words, we're out like this, and the other people are like, you know, back off. You know, so if you look at it from an aerial view, that's what it looks like.
Okay. Like maybe a safe haven, that place where a lot of people go when they're feeling down, they turn to music, and you guys are there to say, hey, I'm feeling it too. By the way, this is what got me through. I'm here with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's a place to go where you can come and you earn these stripes. You can say, for example, if we had an actual place for people to meet up at, here's your jacket with your little patch on the back. You're a part of us now. Like, you're a part of this, let's say, cult, just without all the things that a normal cult would have, or a group of people, or whatever you want to call it. It's just trying to have that safe space for people legitimately, not just, hey, come to a show and we'll pretend like it's a safe place for you, and we'll pretend and put this face on when you meet us. But when we go back when we go to the next show, we're not going to care about those people there. We're going to care about these people tonight. No, we're going to care about you all the time. It's just kind of like one of those things. Like, we've been through enough, and we actually want to genuinely put ourselves out there to be there for people as much as we can. This world needs it more than ever, I believe, now. So,
a lot of Is this? I mean, you mentioned there's a lot of things that over the last, like, say, 10 years, but is this then more of a recent, I don't want to call it a pandemic EP, but you know what I mean?
Not really. I would more say, like, with the pandemic, it came to help us, essentially, for us to have time to think about this, to write it, to rebrand this band and what we want to do, what we want to look like, all that other stuff. And but as far as it being like a pandemic type EP, I wouldn't say necessarily no. But at the same time, you could take it that way depending on what you went through during that time.
Yeah.
Gabe, you have anything about that one?
Well, I would say for the old the old fans of the old band, it's more of it's not that for them, because they kind of already knew the essence of what it was. But for the new listeners, it will come off like, you know, this pandemic kind of like pushed this EP, when in reality, like we had written Everything Is Fun. That was actually our first song that we wrote. We did that last year. Like, as soon as COVID hit, that was like when we all came together and wrote that. And then it was like 8 months down the line, Mike?
So we did Everything Is Fine in June of 2020, and then November of 2020 is when we hit the studio to do the rest of the EP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, kind of an interesting question, and usually I like to keep it to, going forward, but since it's been brought up a couple of times, what went into the decision to rebrand? What wasn't working? What's working now? How are the old fans appreciating it? Are you finding different kinds of people coming in as new fans?
We're kind of getting both of that. A lot of new fans and old fans are loving it. So basically, to sum up what happened, it had nothing to do with the band itself, really, why we rebranded and stuff. It's just, it was a long time coming with our old vocalist. Just a lot of issues and stuff like that happening, and it was just a long time. Me and our bassist Joe were just feeling like, all right, we got to do something about this. We're not happy. It's as cliche, as similar as the name is, but it was miserable to be in that band and to be on tour and to be with someone like that and all that stuff like that. Like, it was draining. It was mentally draining of all of us. And so it just got to a point where we had to step away from that. And we tried to keep it as the old band, but it got to a point where we couldn't come to an agreement to keep the name and who was going to have the name, who was going to play the song. So we just kind of agreed, like, okay, no one uses either. That band is now dead. Let's start fresh. And then Gabe came along. We talked to him, had him try out, and then we did Everything Is Fine shortly after. I think Everything Is Fine, I believe, is when we actually came up with the name Misery with the exclamation, because I wanted to keep it similar to Misery Loves Company, but so it was easier for like a transfer over and stuff like that. But at the same time, explaining who we are, what we're about, all this stuff, all in one word. The exclamation point kind of just came because I saw a band from, I believe it was a 90s punk band that was called Misery. So I was like, okay, let's pull an Attack from 2010 or 2008, throw it, put the exclamation point on there, and it kind of worked out.
You could be Lobster Metal instead of or Crabcore.
Yeah.
There you go.
Station sensation.
I always tell people when we're close to people, we'll whisper. I mean, we'll yell the band name, but when we're far away, we'll whisper it to them.
It's so deep, so very deep.
I mean, depends on the day, because you know what? If I have one of those days, I'll probably just yell it at people. Nobody will ever forget it. Just imagine just a random guy just Misery, like it's. I think it's funny.
Wow!
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, something.
Gabe's our. Go ahead.
As we were chatting about pandemic related stuff and a sunny place for shady people, I think that concept works. That the pandemic has shown us a lot of colors that I don't think we wanted to see.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's definitely true.
I always tell people as bad as that whole, like, it still is, but as bad as the whole pandemic has been and was during that, like, early on, it was still, we're kind of trying to look at the brighter side of it and say, like, it was a good thing for us specifically because of what we were going through, and to be able to continue music, we needed that time to actually sit down and do what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. And to think about everything and to rebrand with all of this time. In a normal world, we would have never been able to do that as smoothly as we did. So it was kind of, we try to look at the positive side of all of that, no matter, even though it was very terrible to go through and still are going through. So,
yeah, especially musicians too, man, like going through tours and like all that getting canceled and everybody isolated, man. And like for musicians, a lot of we're all artists too, so to be closed in a box and not able to express that, or just sitting there and thinking, it starts to really play on people. Quite a bit.
Yeah, that is correct, Mundos. Okay, well, I think that is all my questions. We chatted about Everything Is Fine. We chatted about a sunny place for shady people. I have links to videos. I can't remember in this moment if they're music videos or lyric videos.
They're both music videos.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So music videos are going to be available in today's show notes. So if you were listening in on Spotify or you're listening in on Apple Music, you're watching on the website, you're watching on YouTube, in the show notes below will be a link to the boys' Facebook where you can connect with the band, as well as links to the music videos for Everything Is Fine and a sunny place for shady people. We've chatted about the rebrand. We've chatted about Chucky dolls. We've chatted about the EP, XOX. Initially before this, we chatted about part of that rebrand, which you said was The Crow meets Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think...
That's kind of like what we wanted to go for with the look.
Yeah, which I think is cool. And I've been getting back into a lot of my like early 2000s goth phase. So I don't look it because I'm a dad, right? But been listening to a lot of like To Die For and a lot of those old bands. And The Crow obviously always is going to pop up. And when you start talking about, that kind of stuff. So dig it. Obviously not the part where Brandon got shot with real bullets, but it's all good. Tragic. And then Peavey 6505 versus AxeFx we chatted about a little bit in the pre-roll, and we have enough time to maybe hit that. Is the rig that you've got right there that you were, for whatever reason, trying to get rid of, is that what's on the record? Is that what we're hearing on the EP?
Actually, no. All of that is just kind of in Pro Tools and all the presets and all the stuff that Ricky had there, and we were messing with different tones. And I didn't even use my guitar. I used his Ernie Ball Majesty. I used, and that thing's nice. It's very small scale, which was weird. But as far as like these versus AxeFx, I'm selling these. I love the true tone of having a head and a cab traditionally and stuff like that, but everything's so digital now, and we're trying to upgrade to go like with in-ears and all that stuff to get a better live sound for everybody when they see us. So I think AxeFx might be my best bet, and I could get to play with a lot more stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. I'm looking at a Majesty right now, which I was like, is that John Petrucci's guitar? It looks like it certainly is one of them anyway.
Yeah, that guitar is sick.
Yeah, it's really weird because it is, like I said, it's small scale. It's not like a normal length and size of your traditional guitar. And I have giant hands, so the neck of that was a little weird to get used to at first.
I was gonna make a joke that John Petrucci is actually a really small person. They just make him look bigger in pictures. But yeah, if anybody wants to know why he can play so fast, there's a few things going on with his guitar.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
For sure, boys. All right, fantastic. So now we've added that into the roster of things we chatted about. Did I miss anything you guys wanted to hit before we say goodbye?
Come check us out live and follow us. You find our Instagram. There's a link in bio. Check that out. That's our link tree. It has everything that leads to anything that we are doing. Merch, everything. So we have a tour coming up in October with I Set to Kill, the Funeral Portrait, Scarlett O'Hara. Check that out. See if we're coming to a city near you. Come hang out. Say hi.
I like that. Anything leads to everything. That could be your next thing going on, guys.
Everything leads to everything, and everything is fine.
And everything is fine. Sweet. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link tree in there instead of the Facebook, and then that way people have access quickly to more of you. Cool. All right, boys.
And if person also scream misery in our face. That'd be fun.
Yes.
before we can do it to you.
Exactly. All right, boys. Thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. Thank you.